So the last episode was fantastic up until the point where I accidentally simmed our first round matchup against the Texas Rangers, a playoff series that we lost in 4 games. I still can't believe it. So, yeah. We finished over 500. We won our division. 92 wins. And I hit the wrong goddamn button. And we ended up losing. So this is now an off-season episode. Against Texas, we lose game 1 by the score of 7-3. Huge games for Leba, Mazzara, and Kainer Afalefa. The 3 RBI game. In our offense, Coronado showed up. Mosley with an RBI, but for the most part, I mean, just a quick look at where the struggles came from, because it's, oh boy, I mean, Linder got roughed up, Montez was roughed up. I didn't point out the whole win-loss record for him in the last episode, I believe, or it was Bong that had the really good record, but Montez blew it, and then we lose 8-1. I mean, I don't even want to look through this. Like, we blew it. Jordan wasn't great. We win 13-1 in game 3 and then lose 9-7 in game 4, and that was it. So, while yes, it was a season of progress, it's not exactly the season I was hoping for because we fell short. The Rangers go on to lose to the Red Sox in 7, who went on to lose the World Series in 6 games to the Diamondbacks. As World Series MVP was Herbert Bentz. Postseason MVP is Cody Bellinger and Herbert Bentz. So, Mr. Bentz here has had himself quite the career with Arizona. He was with Kansas City for a little bit and then moved on. And speaking of moving on, so shall we. I don't know what lies ahead this offseason, because the assumption is we're going to have some more tough decisions to make with some of these players. There are no Hall of Fame inductees. And indeed, oh Lord, this is going to be very interesting to see how this works out. Now we need a third base coach and a farm director. We'll figure that out first and foremost. Hank Waldron. The Waldron. Let's see if he'll accept that. And for farm director, I mean, yeah, Dave Roberts is going to be pretty much the best we can get in that spot. So the exclusive free agent negotiations, this is going to be interesting. Justin Summers, of course, at first base. He's up to a 92 overall. He is a well-rounded machine. Now, we do have potential replacements, but obviously with him being as good as he is at the plate, and the potential there, I don't really think we can let go of him. Mendoza or Mosley. Ernie Christensen is someone that we can look to get rid of. He was our DH this season. It just makes all the sense in the world, especially, too, because there was some decline that set in across the board. So, cash flow right now is looking good. Let's see how much Summers ultimately wants. Jesus. $24 million a season. Jeff Mendoza wants 18. Ralph Mosley wants 21. It's time to start paying our stars. Charley Mares, only looking for 6, and again, he will likely get a bit more playing time. So, if we lose Christensen over Mosley, I'm cool with that. Again, Christensen's older. It just makes sense. He's going to go. Losing Justin Summers, it's tough, because technically Lee Ju should be able to do quite well. I guess it would be Lee Ju. I guess it would be. But regardless, he's not quite Justin Summers, but, you know, money-wise. So Scottie Valentine's there. Of course, Coronado's good to go. Chad Brown's good to go. And then in the outfield, Cabral, Quevedo. Of course, I'd love to keep Mendoza. He's amazing. Parra and Mares. I think we really have to decide on what we want the outfield to be. And, I mean, getting compensation for Mendoza would technically work. I think we have to get compensation for Mares, even though he's been great. This is not easy. This is not going to be an easy choice. Aside from tendering Ernie Christensen, we know we're going to let him go. Charley Mares has been, he's phenomenal at the plate. Absolutely phenomenal through 138 at-bats. So, in a way, it's going to be tough to let him go. John Keita isn't exactly needed at this point at 30 years old. So, we'll probably just outright be letting him go. Depending on the price. Oh, yeah, he's gone. $10.6 million, huh? Yeah, you are gone. You're coming off of a decent season with limited action because we sent him down because he was brutal. So, yeah, John Keita is definitely gone. Ernie Christensen is definitely gone. And Charlie Hudson is definitely gone. So, those decisions are pretty straightforward. It's just, what do we do with the top four here? And I mean, Ralph Mosley, at the very least, is going to be the first one to get an offer. I think what we're going to do is go for a 5-year deal and hope that he accepts a lowball contract. I don't expect him to, but we're going to lowball him for a minute. Excuse me, sim a day or two, and see if he accepts that. If not, we'll boost up the offer. Same thing with Mendoza here. I'm going to try... Actually, here, hold on. For Mr. Mosley, was he listed under star? He is. Okay, shit, so that doesn't help. We'll keep that initial deal. Jeff Mendoza, same thing. Listed as a star, which is fine by me. Like I said, if I can save money here, I have to do it. So right there will be the offer there. And then Justin Summers, his worst case scenario, we just tender an offer and make the best of it. But these are players, 27 years old, they're in their prime. We have no choice but to spend the money to try and keep these guys because we're not winning anything otherwise. So the big three deals are out. I do not know what to do with Charley Mares, though. And the reason for that, obviously, is just what the outfield already is. Of course, he could be moved to an infield spot, though. Actually, yeah, Mares is still going to be useful. It's just he's not going to be an everyday player, and I don't think we want to pay an everyday, someone who isn't an everyday player that much money. Mosley, Summers, Valentine, Coronado, Brown, and then again, the outfield, Cabral, Mendoza, and then I still think we have to have Parra ahead of him. Quevedo's probably ahead of him. I think we got to look to move on from Charley Mares, even though he just works for... for as low as some of the attributes are, he just works. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully some of those low ball deals go through. We only have 6 days, so we'll give it 2. Did any of those go through? One of them did, and it was the outfielder, Jeff Mendoza. So perfect. We just saved some money. Absolutely tremendous. Jeff Mendoza took the low ball deal. So we might not have saved that much money in theory, but I'll take it. As with Justin Summers now, we're going to go ahead and offer him basically exactly what he's looking for. Oh my God, this is going to be so expensive. I'm going to go to 24.7 actually, which is I think what it was at. Indeed it is. Let's see if we can offer him a fair deal, and if that doesn't work, we're just going to have to max it out. So Ernie's gone. Mares is probably gone as well. Let's sim another 2 days. Waldron's on as the third base coach. Dave Roberts goes to Baltimore, as neither of the options signed there. So farm manager, Domingo Cadil. Good old Domingo. See if he'll accept that offer. And we'll sim one more day here. Domingo accepted immediately. And unfortunately, we still have to worry about both Summers and Mosley. So obviously, we're going to qualify just to play it safe. And then for Mosley, we'll go 5 years and just max out the interest meter. Right about there. 113 million, so 22.6 per. And Justin Summers is going to be a lot more expensive. A lot more. But obviously, money-wise, we have it to spend, which is great. So hopefully that works. Again, we sent qualifying offers out to both, which, yes, I am going to panic double check. We're good one way or another. So let's see here. Let's see, did either accept? All right, so we're looking okay. It's just Justin Summers. Mosley signed, Mendoza signed. Losing Justin Summers would be extremely detrimental, but at the end of the day, we'd get really good compensation, and we technically are okay and might have some replacements. That might even open up the possibility of bringing Charley Mares back, which, you know what? I'm going to go a 1-year deal at $7 million and see if he accepts that. So there's a chance we lose Justin Summers. The rest we are losing by design. So we head into free agency. Obviously, we have some things to worry about. So let's go back over to Justin Summers. Charley Mares signed that deal instantly. So Charlie's staying, which is fine. And we'll see what happens elsewhere. But right now, it's just Justin Summers. What is he going to do? He's got to accept that contract. And if he doesn't, then hey, we're okay. So quickly with this team, again, a quick look. Kuwata's ours, Mosley is ours, Da Costa, Young is also ours, as is Lozano. Francisco is not. We're going to get rid of everybody that technically doesn't belong to us. That way there is no confusion over potentially losing anybody in the Rule 5. Ray Perez, you can leave. Second base, Scottie Valentine is literally our only player. I know I have to spend some money to cut some of these guys, but I don't really care. All of you can leave. I'm going to have to fill out this roster again. Anyway, third base-wise, obviously get rid of you. We just have Ishii, who's never going to make it, and Coronado, who, you know, again, we could move Coronado back over to first if Summers doesn't come back. Probably leave him at third, though. Again, Liu will probably get an opportunity. He's not the best fielder in the world, but he was certainly lining up to be the DH at the very least. As we have Brown, Newton, Quintero, Matsui, and Steve Rosales all belong to us. Rosales is never going to make it at this point. We have Cabral, Quevedo, Diaz, and Alaniz. The rest do not belong to us. So this way, too, like I said, you guys get a full look at what this roster is. Baek and Mendoza are good. And then we have Parra, Mares, and Quan in right. So it does suck that we have some players where you know they're never going to make it. Pitching-wise, Encarnacion, Short, Reyes, Montez, and Matsuzaka, as Rivera was never a thing. A Jonas Rivera. No, never mind, he is a thing. I just put him in as a closer. He's a reliever. So, whoops, there we go. Jonas Rivera. Still there, looking pretty good. Next to Bong, Rice, and Mori. So this is where we're going to be cutting pretty much everybody. All of these relievers, none of them belong to us. So maybe that's a sign that we need to start taking more relief pitching. But obviously you guys have seen the struggle that we've had in terms of finding decent relief pitching in the second and third rounds of the draft. It just hasn't happened. Of course, the draft in the last episode was an afterthought for how quickly it went past. Jordan right now, Ken Linder shaping up as our top pitchers. Boykin, of course, still good. Francis and Vargas are good. Bobby Gaucho needed to be added to the 40, and he will be. Garcia's good. I believe Nishii needed to be added to the 40 as well. Colt Vaughan is ours, and then Lemons is not. Vesperis does belong to us. Castillo does not. It feels like we haven't taken any goddamn pitchers. But I feel like I've taken a ton of pitchers in this series, but there are so few that are listed on the team sheet, basically. We have none of them. So all of you, get off of my team, please. I do not want you here. Get off of my team. So there we go. That is the roster overall. So in terms of the 40-man, I'm really obviously not worried about losing anybody there. Those guys, if they get picked, whatever, there's no way they will be. So arbitration-wise, Scottie Valentine. We're going to go 3 years at 5.7. See if he accepts that, and then offer arbitration will also go at 5.7. Andrew Montez needs to come back, of course. We'll go 3 years at 2.6. He should accept that. Might be able to save a little bit of money, but still, we'll give him what he wants. No reason not to. And then Jason Morey. I mean, he's just terrible. We can move on. We can move on from him. And, of course, we already moved on from Lemons. So, Jason Morey, you're never going to make it. I mean, sure, you might help that AAA roster a little bit. There's a chance I'm going to cut some of the dead weight here, too. Like, I mean, Tommy Young will technically make the AAA team better, but the fact is that team's never going to really be good enough to compete. But, I don't know. Maybe I should have re-signed him. Maybe not. I don't know. It's just, it wasn't going to be good regardless. And then we get to the normal contract offers. Everything else is taken care of. So in terms of catchers, Kuwata is honestly not that bad. We're going to drop a decent bit of money on him. Da Costa also looking good. Try to keep these guys happy with the money that we are offering. Leju, our Rule 5 pickup from before. Yeah, we're going to be saving a decent bit of money if he signs that. So it's like these guys, like Tom Knotts. Like, the only thing it really does is save me from having to sign free agents, even though they're just so bad. None of these second basemen are going to be able to be signed. Third base-wise, Miggy, 2 years at 2.3 is more than a fair deal for the reigning Rookie of the Year. Kana Matsui, getting closer to Major League level, but with a D potential, it's never going to happen. Steve Rosales with that A potential, it's never going to happen. Quevedo, sign him to that. Edgar Diaz, still a decent option in the outfield. Sign him to a little bit more. Pedro is terrible. I really just need to cut the dead weights after this season, perhaps. After this season. Vinny, never going to make it, unfortunately. And right, Brian Kwan, unlikely to ever make it. Chang and Hernandez are not ours. So that brings us to the pitchers. Matsuzaka, decent chance maybe of being in the bullpen this year. His overall's dropping, though. Jonas Rivera, his name is Jonas, and he is looking all right. Let's pay him a little bit more money. Chauncey Rice, maybe that's why I feel like I don't have any pitchers signed, because all the ones that we do have signed, they're all terrible, or the ones that we drafted just never made it. Bobby Gaucho, one more season in AAA at best, but we're going to pay him a boatload of money just in case he makes the majors this year. Colt Vaughan, I have hope for him as well, that he will be a future star for this team. So we should be good. Let's sim forward a couple of days. Gabriel to the Angels. Kyle Tucker signs as well. I guess the question is, did we keep anybody? As, of course, all those guys became free agents. Re-signed quite a few people. Justin Summers is back. Signs that big boy contract, but Justin Summers stays. So no compensation, and with that, we really don't have much to worry about with this roster. Just hopefully we end up seeing some of these... hopefully we end up seeing some of these, chances for compensation come through. That would be nice. Let's go in a couple of days. We lost a random dude. Random trade, Dominic Smith to the Phillies. Dylan Carlson on the move. Royce Lewis. Christian Pache. Ian Anderson. Shohei Ohtani stays with the Angels. Or goes back, I guess. Again, the 40-man is good. Still nothing from Montez. And we still have some other deals to worry about, but we don't have to worry about those until December 2nd. So we're still looking okay. Bill Gerard, who looked like the top option, he goes to the Dodgers. Ramon Alonso, we're still waiting for Ernie here. Jason Dominguez on the move. Montez still hasn't signed. Kuwata still needs to sign, and then Tom Nah. All right. So again, we still have time, 6 days until we have to worry about anything. And unfortunately, I'm thinking that Christensen has either already elected to stay or is just outright going to stay. So Kuwata, buddy, you need to accept this deal. You really do. I don't really feel like giving you much more expensive of a deal. Dusty Williams on the move, DL Hall, Wensiel Perez. Why do I feel like Christensen had to have stayed at this point? Again, the 40 is fine. We're still waiting to see what happens with these other few. So, screw it. We'll do what we have to do. We already offered arbitration, of course, for Montez. And he signed. It's just Edgar Diaz and Kuwata. These guys are being rather difficult. So we offered Kuwata $300K. We'll offer him even more than that. Diaz, we'll go 1 year, $800K. And if Tom Na doesn't accept that, then he can leave. Pretty simple. Ernie Christensen, did you sign? He didn't, so Ernie's still out there. Let's hope that works out in terms of compensation. Still just waiting to hear from Kuwata. We have a couple of days. Ernie Christensen, please sign with somebody, although it's not as if... There we go. So we got everybody that we wanted. It's not as if draft pick compensation helped us out last year, though. But one could hope that it would be that much better. Some of the bigger dominoes are falling. Arbitration negotiations, of course, were good. So let's move to the winter meetings. Josh Young on the move. I mean, the depth chart's looking better. Andreas Jimenez on the move. And we get to the Rule 5. Still no word for what's going to be happening with Ernie Christensen, as we'll see who we have available to us here. So 27B and a 76 is looking like the best option. 24B and a 76, Pedroza. Don't know how the hell we'd fit him into the team, but Pedroza is a decent little option at 24B and a 76. 26B and a 75. 23A and a 69 for Daryl Stacy. That's an interesting one, but unfortunately not available. Pedroza is also not available. Lowry, not available. Montez, not available. Well, that's just great. I was going to go back and look at them all afterwards, but I'm like, there's enough of them. I should pay attention now. Johnny Sanchez, not available. Piedra, not available. Here we go. Eddie Ramos, no. This is starting to be depressing. Leo Nieves, nope. Nope. And center, Peter Arabu's got to be available. Yes. Okay. So Peter Arabu is looking like the choice, just because who the hell else are we even going to be able to pick? So we're going to be picking up an outfielder, which we don't exactly need, but he's here. Peter Arabu is the pickup, and not a bad little addition. I mean, the amount of speed he brings is absolutely insane. I just wish he was better at bunting. Could be the old small ball specialist, but we have a designated pinch runner, and now we'll see what's available out there pitching-wise. Preferably another top-notch reliever. Let's start off looking there. James Cheek from New Jersey. Miguel Ochoa, not available either. So this isn't looking too good. Corey Cunningham, I doubt is available. He is not. So for true relievers, Cabrera, not available. Dean Debreu, not available. Sanchez, not available. Baez, not available. William McClung, Kansas. Tad, good old Thad. I wish it was Tad. It's Thad. He's actually available. Thad Van. Good old Thad Van, the 8 letters of doom. The Canadian is available, as is good old David Silva. So, 2 decent options. Silva's a little bit more interesting, I feel. Is there anybody with a good potential, though? I highly doubt it at this point. Yeah, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. Okay. For starters, James Shannon is Canadian. But, God, he's terrible. Like, designated long reliever is what he's looking like. That's what it's looking like. I mean, for relievers, we have Rivera, Bong, Encarnacion, Short, Reyes, and Montez. So the addition of Thad Van doesn't really help all that much. Having James Shannon potentially as a designated bullpen option could help. Lamar Lopez is not available. Greg Sellers would be amazing. Nope. He's out of Texas. Alan Goss also not available. I think just by default we got to go with the dude at the top of the list. Severino's not available. Lopez isn't available. Yeah, I mean, he's not ideal, but he is our guy. Either that or it's DeAndre Bravo, 23B and a 75. So yeah, I don't like Shannon. I don't even know how he has that overall. It's just the walks. I think we have our guy. I don't really know if I want Bravo to be... I mean, has the velocity, has the stamina. He's a decent little project. And we can't send down for the season. Bobby Gaucho's just about ready, too. I don't think I can take a starter because of Bobby Gaucho. So we're gonna go with Silva. I know he's got a bit more stamina. A bit more velocity. I feel like we have to go for Silva. So, right or wrong, that is the choice. He could also work as a long reliever. I'm not going to call him David. I'm going to call him David. David Silva. Just like a certain football player. So there we go. Those are our two picks in the Rule 5 this year. And we're going to see what this team looks like heading into this next season where, again, hopefully we end up back in the playoffs. Oh, God, and hopefully this time I don't sim over it, as I don't think a certain player is about to be signed. Was he signed and it just was Christensen signed? So I think Ernie Christensen was signed. I know there's a player search feature, but I'm just going to look really quickly. Ernie was signed, it just didn't say anything, right? I mean, I suppose I could just check the free agent list, but yeah, so Ernie Christensen signed in Philadelphia. So we are going to be getting compensation. Apparently, he doesn't have a high enough overall for that to be noted as a big deal, but it's been done. So Ernie's in Philadelphia, and we are moving on. So contract-wise, do we have any better scouts? It's my question. 2.1. Unfortunately, we don't. The scouts that we have now are the best scouts that we can get. So for the team this year, Mosley's obviously there. In terms of a backup catcher, we could go with Kuwata. He and Da Costa would do pretty well, or we can just set up somebody else to be decent. Liu, whatever's going to be there. Valentine, Coronado, Chad Brown, and Newton. And then we have Cabral, Quevedo, Edgar Diaz. I just don't think there's going to be any space for you because of Arabu. So just to take a look, and of course Charley Mares is still here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fortunately for one, Francesco Reyes wasn't that good last year. I think he's going to be starting the season down in AAA. And Chauncey Rice, of course, is going to be sent down as well. So you have these three and the top three here. And then we have our top 6. Bobby Gaucho's made it. Bobby Gaucho has made it. It is his time to shine. I think Garcia, 4.73 ERA last year with a 1.38 whip. Mitch Vargas had a 4.16 ERA. One of these two is the odd man out. I feel like it's got to be Garcia. We shouldn't lose him on waivers, so it's going to be Linder, Jordan, Francis, Boykin, and Gaucho as the rotation. We'll have Mitch Vargas there as a backup if need be. Yeah, Boykin was too good to take out. So, I mean, that's looking better. And then we have one player too many. Potentially two players too many if we decide that we want a true backup catcher. But Cabral, Quevedo, Mendoza, Rabu, Parra, and Mares. I mean, again, Rabu has to be there, or we can let go of a Rabu and call up, like I said, a true backup catcher in Kuwata, who honestly isn't that bad. For a 73, he's pretty good. So that could work. I don't hate that. But regardless, just looking at the team now, again, Newton's not bad to have there just in case. This roster technically works. We're at 25. It's just backup catcher or not. So the rotation is shaping up to be something similar to that in the bullpen. I mean, it could be Gerald, could be Rivera. Rivera with that 50 clutch, short at a 75. I mean, the pitching staff looks to be on point. 83 for Francis and 80 for Boykin. Jed Jordan is a legitimate 87, and Ken Linder is a legitimate 87 as well. Linder wants to be the ace. Jed Jordan does as well, so we could choose between the two. Linder with that 4.71 ERA last year. Jed Jordan was at a 4.23, so decisions to be made there. But Bobby Gaucho, at 23 years old, has finally made the Major League roster. Hopefully it's not too early, but it shouldn't be. And then lineup-wise, oh boy, what is our ideal lineup going to be? That is the question. Justin Summers at first. I mean, pretty much that. It's just who the hell's the DH? It's either Mares, Lee Ju, or Quevedo. But that's pretty much the lineup. I think it has to be Quevedo. Just so that we can see what he can do. I mean, Lee's amazing, though. And then Mares just does well. It's almost tough to say it should be him over Lee, even though Mares was phenomenal last year. But, I mean, this lineup is pretty straightforward. We might have to work some things around. Of course, Parra's in. We could decide between Quevedo or Parra being the full-time option. Quevedo's not a very good fielder, though. He has more speed than Parra. I don't hate it. I don't hate this team. That is absolutely a playoff team. It's just what happens in the playoffs, and hopefully, if we do make it, we'll be able to see what happens. But, like I said, if we wanted to send down somebody, I don't know who the hell it would be, so I think we just have to assign somebody to be a backup catcher. Could be Newton, to be honest. Just in terms of the arm that he has. Of course, Ralph Mosley's there as well. He has an absolute cannon. So, I'm going to leave it there so that you guys have a chance to let me know what you think as far as how we should look to set up this team. But no doubt about it. No doubt about it whatsoever. And again, I really don't believe in this. But it's showing us as the 9th ranked team, which sounds about right. It should be a good year for us. But now, I mean, if the pressure wasn't on before to make the playoffs, the pressure is absolutely on to make the playoffs this year and to win as we lose the likes of Ernie Christensen and others.